Welcome back to the SportsMax Zone. And after a successful World Championships in Eugene, Oregon, the attention now shifts to the rising superstars when action in the World Athletics Under-20 Championships starts on Monday, August 1. The Under-20 meet will feature some of the Caribbean's rising talents who will head to South America in hopes of representing the region well. Over 1,500 athletes will be represented in Colombia, with 20 Caribbean territories expected to be on show at the 6-day meet. We had an opportunity to see the best of the best in the region when the 49th edition of the Caribbean Games recently took place in Jamaica, and a few notable standouts will be looking to continue their fine run of form next week. Among them is the defending Under-20 champion in the 100 meters, Tina Clayton, who will be looking to defend her title this year. 7 of the defending champions from last year's meet will be in action as well, including South Africa's Mien de Klerk, France's Erwan Konate, and Botswana's Letziel Tebogo. So Leighton, you are very close in following these athletes. Earlier today we had a discussion about Tebogo and the chances. What say you based on the Caribbean participation and their chances?
Well, just mention Tebogo first. He's
okay.
Unless something bizarre happens, I don't see him losing
the 100 meters.
The 100 meters in Colombia. As it relates to the Caribbean, I think we're looking at Tina Clayton right now. Her time of 10.96 is the second fastest time in the world for under 20 women. However, Tamari Davis, who is the American who's run 991, is not in Colombia. So that makes Tina Clayton the heavy favorite. Because one of the things that is clear in terms of the teams that are down there, Jamaica has 5 of the top fastest girls under 20 in the world this year. And I think all 5 of them are there. So I think when you look at Serena Cole 11.13, Tia Clayton 11.25, there's a strong possibility that Jamaica could end up with 2 medals in the 100 meters for women. The 200, Brenna Liston is the 3rd fastest in the world this year. The other 2 ladies, Christine Mboma and of course Maselingi both from Namibia, are not there either.
Yes.
So she is primed to land that under 20 title if she's healthy. And of course, you're looking at the big question, and I think the biggest thing on the minds of many Jamaicans and perhaps a parts of the Caribbean as well, based on what we saw at the Caribbean Games, that world record that was not ratified because of, bungling on the part of the Jamaica Anti-Doping Commission.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, news has just emerged that the guilty parties are going to be sent a warning letter. That's the severity of the punishment.
But is that enough?
Well, they claim that this is the first infraction that each of these employees has committed, and so therefore a warning letter is what they think is appropriate. I'm thinking that there should be something a little bit more severe, but that's just me. But when you look at that team, all of the ladies on that team are there. Brenna Liston, the Tina Clayton, and Tia Clayton, Serena Cole, and of course Kerika Hill, who is also the number 1 100-meter hurdler at the under 20 level in the world this year. I think she's a hot favorite to win the gold medal as well.
Yeah.
So, but when you look at the strength of that 4x1 team, if they report healthy, I think the world record that should have been established in Jamaica will probably be established in Colombia.
But Leighton, we had an extensive discussion about that on the SportsMax Zone. And what emerged from the discussion is that, records like these, many a times you can't do the same thing again. You're not the same athlete. It doesn't matter if you keep up doing the same things that you usually do. Even if I compete today and then I run again tomorrow, I can't be the same person. I can never have the same show every single day. So do you really think that the girls, with their confidence already, they would have been extremely upset based on what had happened? Would they really have it in them to do that again?
That's a good question, Mary, because here's the thing. These girls have been running since January, okay? And remember, they're still young. Their bodies are still developing. They might not be at their peak levels that we saw at the Caribbean Games in April right? This is now on the verge of August. So it's April, May, June, July, August. That's 4 months ago. So whether or not they're in the kind of shape that they were in April is, questionable. It's hard to determine whether or not they'll be able to run the times that they ran, and which is one of the reasons why that unfortunate circumstance is so sad, because 42.58 is not an easy time to run. If you look at the World Championships, you will see that there are very many senior teams who did not run that fast.
Yes.
Right? So you're looking at these girls coming in. The only thing that I will say is that I think, given that the record was not ratified, I think there's sufficient motivation there for them to go at it again, because they did last year in Kenya 42.94, and they went almost a half a second faster in Jamaica. So maybe they'll give it one last shot, because many of these girls are going off to college, some of them are going pro. So maybe this is the last opportunity that they have to establish this record again.
Yes.
And so that might be the driving factor that helps them get there.
Yeah, most definitely. Leighton, so we've been talking about these events and you've been cued into Jamaica. So my next question to you is, apart from Jamaica, any other Caribbean countries, based on your research and what you've been following, that might be tipped to bring a medal to the Caribbean? Unfortunately,
no, because when I'm looking at the athletes that are there and the rankings, the current rankings, there is, I can't recall anyone from another Caribbean nation who is in even the top 20 in the world in terms of performances. So unless in the last few months or last few weeks they've been able to find a seam of form that will bring them into these championships ready to contend for medals, I don't see it, unfortunately, which is something that bothers me. And I know it's easy to talk about the Jamaicans because they do so well consistently. Yeah. But I'd like to be able to see some of our young athletes from the Caribbean come through and surprise us and do something special, because the talent is obviously there. We've seen it all over the place. We saw it at the Carifta Games. We saw it at other championships throughout the years. And it's unfortunate that they're not at the level where they're going to be considered among the best in the world. Yeah. And that's the sad part about it for me. And for the short time that I've been living in Jamaica, I can attest to, why it is that the Jamaican athletes do better, because one of my closest friends, they have a child, and, she can't even walk properly, but she's already running, and she's taking part in prep, school champs and whatnot, and of course dominating. I think based on, other Caribbean countries, there aren't as much competitions from such a very young age. Yeah, the passion is, look, one of the things with it, and I think it's one of the key differences, is a couple of things. One, the passion that Jamaicans have for track and field, I think it started 70 years ago with Herb McKinley and, Arthur Wint and George Roden coming through to Donald Quarry and, of course, Merle Nottis. Yes. There's a strong tradition of track and field in Jamaica that not very many Caribbean countries can replicate. I mean, here's the Crawford from Trinidad and Tobago won in '76. Right. And then you have people like Otto Bolden and others who have come through. Jerry Richards and, of course, Richard Thompson, who's won an Olympic medal in 2008 behind Usain Bolt. But the consistency of that passion, I think, is lacking from a lot of other Caribbean nations. Look at what happened with Seda Williams in Barbados just recently when she won a bronze medal. I mean, she's probably been the first medalist since Ryan Brathwaite back in... And who's our coach? A Jamaican. So it says... Yeah, it's about, the standards that we set here. It's about not accepting mediocrity. It's about having a desire to be the best in the world in this particular sport. And I think that's one of the key differences between Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. Of course, every now and then you have somebody come through like a Kirana James or Anderson Peters from Grenada, who has produced other great 400-meter runners as well. Trinidad, of course, we just mentioned, Barbados. These pockets will pop up every now and then, but I think there's an opportunity for a lot of these Caribbean nations to be more consistent in terms of the talent that they're producing. That's the major difference. Well, we're looking forward most definitely to see. I am. I'm hoping the girls will break the world record again. I'm hoping that too, especially because of what happened to them earlier this year. While we take a quick break, we'll be back.